Test, test, test. Test, test. Oh, there we go. More testing. More testing. Sweet, there you go. Testing? Okay. Test. Test. Test.
Okay. Okay. We're going to have our. Uh, all right. We're going to have our drivers meeting at 9:30. So if teams that are practicing, you got about 5 minutes. Then we're going to clear the field and get set up for match one. You can get back in queue if there's a box left. Andrew over there in the safety vest is going to be assigning alliances, and then you'll go to the red or the blue on deck area. Also, we find ourselves in need of maybe about 4 field reset people. So if you're somebody that really can't stand the idea of sitting around all day and would like to have fun with buckets and bunnies, come on down here to the to Control Central, and we'll get you fixed up. If your robot hasn't been inspected yet, in other words, doesn't have a red dot, then Colin here, who's waving, and Ben, I think it's already over in the pits, would like to get that taken care of. Okay, we got about 1 minute left of drive practice, so make it count. We're still looking for 2 more valiant volunteers that want a front row seat to the action that will also be field reset people. We got 2, looking for 2 more. Well, it looks like I got a bunch more. Okay.
Hello.
Could teams that are red and blue, you can go ahead and load onto the field really quickly. We're going to start the drivers meeting here very shortly. Well, if you guys would go ahead and get back in queue there. Okay, you guys can go on. Okay, could I drive teams down the field? Just kind of have a seat in the middle. Drive teams in the middle of the field.
Dan,
Yeah.
do we actually have a game announcer this time?
Yes, that's a good. Oh.
It's on.
Okay, drive teams should all be down here. So, welcome everybody to BunnyBots 2017. This is by far the biggest BunnyBots we've ever had, and I think we've actually reached the capacity of our field here. So thank you for your patience, and especially those of you in the stands, because it's going to get a little cozy today. My name is Dale Yoakum. I run the engineering program here at Catlin, and I'm also the primary author of the BunnyBot rules this year. And so if you have a complaint about them, you can blame me. Okay, a few logistics things. Could we turn that down just a tad? Okay. So match one will start right after our meeting here. I think most of match one's robots are already on the field. So the way it'll work, it'll be probably around 10 o'clock. We'll start with match one. Could we turn it down just a little bit more, Hanan? And then that'll go up till noon. Around 11:45 or so, Pizza Schmitz will be selling pizza out front, just like they always do. Lunch will go from 11:45 to 1. Usually that's the time that a lot of robots get fixed, because a lot of things broke over the course of the morning. And then starting at 1 o'clock, we'll start up again. We'll go to 3. At 3 o'clock will be alliance selection. Top 4 teams by ranking points will be the alliance captains, and they'll be able to pick their partners. They'll be picking 3, not 2. So every team's got its own backup. There's no other backup queue. So between the 4 robots, they'll figure out on a match-by-match basis who's going to play in each match. And so alliance selection is the top 4 robots, and if the captain of one of those alliances is from a school with multiple robots, they can't pick another robot from their same school. But if you were to pick a robot, if you're the alliance captain, and you pick a robot that's from a school and they have a sister team, you're welcome to pick them in a future round. We just don't want to have one alliance that's all full one school. That would be sad. Okay, so the way queues work, people keep asking me about match schedules. Those of you that have been here before know we don't have no stinking match schedule. If you want to play, you get in line. And so Andrew over there, who's waving at you, is the queue manager. And so when you want to play, you go over there and you get into one of those 8 boxes if they're available. And Andrew's got this white bucket full of balls that are red, blue, and the infamous yellow ball. So the way it works is if you pick a red ball, you're on the red alliance, which is down here. If you pick a blue ball, you're on the blue alliance. If you pick a yellow ball, that means you get to sit out this next match, but you're guaranteed to be in the match following. We do that because we don't want the same group of teams going around and around in a circle. We want to kind of mix it up, and so that's our secret way of mixing it up. Be sure you give the ball back to Andrew. Andrew would very much like to have those back. As soon as a match concludes and the field reset people have swarmed onto the field, you're welcome to take your robot off the field that way. And the robots that are in the on-deck area on blue and red are welcome to load on. We're trying to make these matches go as fast as possible. We have a lot of valiant volunteers for field reset, and they're anxious to get their work done as fast as possible, so we'll just try and stay out of each other's way. Your carts, when you've offloaded your robot, you want to take your carts and put them down on that far end of the field, down by those blue padded areas. And then when you're done, you're always exiting that side. You'll go around, you get your cart and load your robot, and then away you go. You could get right back in queue if your robot's working great. You could go back to the pits and fix things. So we can't have people doing major repairs to the robot when they're in queue. If you're in queue, we assume you're ready to play, and those matches could happen pretty quick. If it's anything that needs more than a screwdriver or a pair of pliers to deal with, then you gotta go back to the pit area. Any questions about how queuing works and all of that kind of stuff? Okay, so moving on to the game. So the way you get points in BunnyBots is through one of two mechanisms. One is during auto, if your robot just crosses, some portion of your robot crosses the middle line, then you get 10 points. Easy 10 points. If your robot can pick up a bucket that you brought with you that you've placed on the middle line, and you can decorate this with whatever vision targets or whatever you want to put on it. If you can pick that up at least 1 inch off the ground, then that's worth 20 points during that first 15 seconds. If you're so awesome that you can cross that line, get over here, and pick up what we assume is an awkwardly placed bucket that the other team has put there, if you can pick that one up off the ground, that's worth 40 points. That's almost a game lock strategy. So if you're that awesome, we're all gonna applaud because that is pretty cool. After auto, and the refs could call an early end to auto. So Joe here is our head ref, and he's gonna be watching auto. If he sees that nothing interesting is happening, he might go like this, which will tell Tristan, who is gonna be the field control person, that, hey, auto is boring, let's get on with it. And then Tristan will put an end to auto. You'll hear the ding, ding, ding. That means you can all run to your driver stations and do things. There is no field control system, so auto doesn't start automatically. It starts because you pushed a button that says start auto. But you can't do anything else during auto. You can't be controlling the robot, you can't be using Vision Connect or Microsoft Connect or cameras or whatever to control the robot. It's gotta be all autonomous. But after auto's done, after you hear the ding, 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 then it's up to you to control it. At the end of the match, you'll hear nah, and that means the match is over. At that point, you have to step away from the controls and do your thing. So no fancy field control system here. This is all, you guys are the field control system. Okay, after auto's done, then it's all about the bunnies. And so you're trying to get a bunny in contact with the carpet on your side of the field. So that bunny is worth 10 points at the end of the match. Bunny halfway inside of a bucket and halfway on the carpet, that's still worth 10 points. Some portion of the bunny is contacting the carpet. A bunny that starts out inside the bucket, no points for you. A bunny that's inside your robot, but still in contact with the carpet, that's worth 10 points. A bunny that's fully elevated off the carpet inside your robot, no points for you. If you're in possession of more than one bunny, it means that the bunny moves when you move. So if you had picked up a bunny, it's sucked up inside your robot in some way, and if the robot moves in every direction and the bunny moves with the robot, that means you're in possession. You can be in possession of one bunny. If you are in possession of more than one bunny, and that's a 20-point penalty per bunny. So a lot of robots have like collector systems on the front that can run into a bunny and kind of suck it in and then go driving around and then spit it out again. That's awesome. Just be careful you don't get more than one bunny in there, or else it'll be 20-point penalty for every one of those. The refs all have little flags that have red and blue ends on them, and if they see a penalty happening of one sort or another, they're going to and wave the flag, and that means that sad things have happened to you. Okay, so there is not really a reason to have live scoring on this game, because the game is all about the state of the field at the end. So you won't see live scoring happening up here. We'll just have a timer. At the end, though, it's all going to be about how many bunnies are in contact. Something that I forgot to mention in my sequence of things is at the very beginning, you're going to load your robots onto the field. You're not going to touch the bunnies, not going to touch the buckets. Then we're going to start a 1-minute timer, and you'll see the timer up there on the screen. That's your time to arrange your bunnies and your buckets. So you'll have 1 minute to do that. And so you'll probably want to put a lot of the bunnies, well, actually, I guess you're required to put the bunnies inside of a bucket. But you don't want to put more than one bunny inside of a bucket. So each of you have 20 buckets on each side, and there's 10 bunnies. So you can be public or you could be secretive about where you put these bunnies, but these are bunnies for you to arrange. At the end of that 1 minute, if you haven't placed all your bunnies, you've got to drop them wherever they are on the field. The refs will then take any extra bunnies, throw them to the other side. So that would be sad. So between your alliance partners, you want to work out a pretty quick scheme of how you're going to place all your bunnies and remember where they are. And if you're really clever, you'll watch the other side and see where they're putting their bunnies. So it's going to be kind of mad, frantic activity for a minute before each match. At the end of all this mayhem, at 2.5 minutes, then we'll do the scoring. And so the judges will, add up that scoring, and that'll display up there. Once that scoring's been arranged, our field reset people will swarm onto the screen, onto the field. They'll get all the bunnies out, make a pile here on either side. The robots here will leave the field. The new robots will come on the field, and we'll do this all over again. Your ranking score is different than a normal FRC match. Normally in FRC, there's all this complicated formulas about how many ranking points you get. In BunnyBots, your ranking score is the winner gets the number of points they got, and they get half of the loser's points. If you're the loser, you just get the loser's points in terms of the, and then we're going to add all these up at the end, and you'll see them on the scrolling display that's out in the lobby, and every once in a while it'll show up there. Okay, refs that you can think of? Okay, are there any questions? Did I forget anything, refs, that you can think of? When you load onto the field, you'll just stick your robots wherever. Actually, but that is a good point. At the end of the 1 minute mark, you have to stop arranging your bunnies and your buckets. But you can move your robots if you want to some more optimal position if you want to. If a team places a bucket on the center line, that means it's one of their vision buckets. You as the opposing team can't move that bucket. And you can't move the buckets, obviously, on the opposite side of the field, but you can move your buckets up during that 1 minute time period. That all makes sense? Okay, was there another question? Yeah. Yeah, good point. So if you've got a pyramid of bunnies, the bunny that's not touching the carpet doesn't count. So it's all about ones that are in some way, form, or another are in contact with the gray carpet. Right, yeah, so it's not possession And like there's a collection of robots here that are kind of like U's in the front, and that's perfectly fine because if that robot was to back up, then the bunnies would just fall out. Yeah, so there's an odd thing in the rule called a penalty bomb. If you wanted to, if you had a robot that was so awesome that you could collect bunnies, stick it in a bucket, and then hope the other team picks it up, then they're controlling, 4 bunnies, let's say, that's inside that bucket, and they've lost the game basically because that would be 20-point penalty for every bunny that's in that bucket. That's kind of a long shot strategy, but the bottom line is if you've got more than one bunny in a bucket and then you pick up that bucket, then you're in possession of all the bunnies in that bucket. You could push it around because then you're not in possession, but if you picked it up, then that would be bad. Oh, yeah, go ahead, sorry. Yeah, the bucket has to be raised at least an inch off the ground during auto. What matters is the state of the bucket at the end of auto. So if you picked it up and it dropped, that would be no points for you. But at the end of auto, if it's an inch off, Joe's going to be watching like a hawk at all of these, and we'll make note of them. Yeah. Yeah. So BunnyBots doesn't really have a rule about the number of people that can be back in the driver's station. I mean, you would think that you wouldn't want to have 20 back there, but yeah, there isn't a hard and fast rule. So you're picking up an opposing alliance's bucket during auto? Yeah, the rules don't really say anything about that. I would say you get the points. Whoever picked up the bucket gets them, whether it's your bucket or not. Right. If it's a bucket that's on the center line, then that's a 20-point bucket, whether it's your bucket or somebody else's bucket. Yeah, the rule says that once a bucket is on the center line, the only people that can move it is that alliance. So the opposing alliance can't say, no, 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 I want that place. So it's first come, first serve. Other questions? No, so buckets can't be placed upside down. They can't be placed on their side. They can't be nested. So, but buckets can be stacked. You could do that, for example. You could make them, 40 feet high if you wanted to. It'd be kind of awesome. We were doing that last night. Yeah, robots have to be in contact with the back wall in some way. You could be at an angle or straight on. Okay? All right. If these games evolve over the course of the day, and so if the refs start seeing game-breaking strategies, they may come up with rules that stop them. But hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully we have been completely clairvoyant and we can imagine how this game's going to play. But it sometimes doesn't work that way. Okay, so if you're part of these starting robots, then get back to your driver stations. Reset if you can get the field back to where it needs to be.
We're going to replace the batteries and try swapping.
There.
Check, check, check. Okay, if you don't have a red piece of paper that has your team number on it, like you'll see 2471 over there has got something, 2521 has something. If you don't have one of those, then you need one because we don't have some fancy electronic system. And so the materials for that are right there. Liam's holding them up. I don't know what happened to the pen. You see the markers? Yeah, okay. What happened to the field reset, folk? Field reset. Field reset, folk. So the bunnies are supposed to be in a pile on either side. You can't have them already starting in the buckets. So you want to grab them out of there, and move them to there. Yes.
But then the iron must.
Okay, may I have your attention, please? I have two announcements. One announcement is I would like to introduce your MC for the day. Koa, come on here and wave. Okay.
Yeah.
Koa is co-president of 50, and she also loves to run and smile and wave. So she's going to be doing a lot of that. And also, all the teams that are ready to go, we are about to start our very first field setup for you guys. So the way this works is the field reset crew has been as creative as they want to be about placing the buckets. All of the bunnies are right here in the middle. You're going to have 1 minute to set them up any way you want. After that, you have to stop and run away, and the refs are going to do the rest. So, on your mark, get set, go. 1 minute.
Is it off?
Oh, refs, watch that we don't get more than one bunny in a bucket.
I was talking to
Okay, so that sound means that field reset is over. You can reset your robot position if you want. Otherwise, we are going to roll match number one. Koa, introduce the teams.
All right.
Good? All right. So, starting off the Red Alliance, we have Team 2521.
Sir from Eugene, Oregon.
Next on the Red Alliance, we have Team 2471.
Mean Machine.
And rounding off the Red Alliance, we have Team 997.
Spartan Robotics.
Over here on the Blue Alliance, we have Team 3711.
Iron Mustang.
Delta.
Deep.
Next on the Blue Alliance, we have Team 1540 Triceratops.
Our hosts.
And rounding off the Blue Alliance, we have Team 1540 Chalupa. Good. And then the match. Okay, counting down. Match starts in 3, 2, 1. Go! Okay.
And we're off with the first match of the BunnyBots competition. We see 2471 getting their buckets on their side. And the Tower of Buckets goes down. 2471 shooting their buckets. It's a roller derby over here. Buckets all butting match. Same with Cert. And all over the field. 1540 Triceratops and 2471. Sorry, Iron Mustangs. (997) bringing a bunny to their side. Oh, but it gets stuck in the robot. Robots racing back and forth from Red Alliance to Blue Alliance, racing bunnies to their side to get points. Remember, bunnies have to be touching the ground free of any buckets to count for points. 2471 shuffling bunnies to their side of the field. It seems like Iron Mustangs is disabled over on the Red Alliance side. Seems like Chalupa isn't moving either. Hopefully they can get something going here as the match continues. We have less than 30 seconds left in the match. Seems like Iron Mustangs is back up and running again. Three, two, one.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So we're about to start our 1 minute field reset time. Oh, no, we're not, sorry. We're about to clear the field. My bad.
So clear the field.
Oh yeah, so teams, clear the field. You can remove your robots now. Okay. Sorry. And teams, red and blue alliances can load on now.